What's going on, everybody? This is Joe, and I'm here for like a little bit of an impromptu video. As you can see from my background here, we are kind of in the middle of Ether Drift season. So if you do want to check out some Ether Drift openings from us, there are plenty of them on the channel already, and I have a few more to do after I'm done filming this video. But Amy reminded me, and I'll give her all the credit on this one because she deserves it, that I did a Mystery Booster 2 draft recently. And I mean, if I'm bringing cards into the house, why wouldn't I show them to all of you? So I had occasion, shout outs to our sponsor store for the pre-releases. If you go watch those opening videos, you'll hear about them a lot more. But shout outs to Champion Card Collector in Poughkeepsie, New York. They had a big event going on, like a fair, that they had going on at their store, and one of the events was a Mystery Booster 2 draft, and I was one of the lucky few who was able to sign up early. I did not get any special treatment. As soon as I saw that they posted that, I made sure to get on there just like anybody else and sign up for it. I wouldn't expect any special treatment, and they wouldn't give it to me, and so that's really good. But I was able to sign up for a Mystery Booster 2 draft. You can see the empty packs here. These have been opened, but I wanted you to be able to see the packaging there. And I did a draft. So obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but for folks who are aware of how draft works, you will see a color theme here because that is what I ended up picking. But I wanted to let's go through some of these cards and talk about them and stuff. It's fun. And you'll see kind of some of the unique things about Mystery Booster 2. It's kind of awkward to hold all of these at once. Usually I'm used to holding just a pack, but we'll see. But obviously there's no, well, I ordered these. It's not like a perfect ordering system or anything, but I figure I can show you some of these cards. We have Glimmer Point Stag, Teleria West, and obviously because it was a draft, I then made a deck. The deck is the last set of cards or group of cards, so these first few cards are the ones that didn't make the deck, by the way. So we have Glimmer Point Stag, we have Teleria West, Flux Channeler, lots of uncommons, Wizard Class, speaking of which, a Disturbing Conversion, Explosive Welcome. Like I said, you'll notice a theme starting to come forward here. A Hoarding Dragon, Rapid Hybridization, Goblin Wizardry. So by the way, if you notice, what they typically will do with Mystery Boosters, they did it with the first ones, they're doing it with this one, is that the cards still have the original set symbol where they came from as the set symbol, but maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. Down in the bottom left, there is a Planeswalker symbol, which was not in the cards or for the cards when they were originally printed. The other thing is, for like Rapid Hybridization, you'll notice like Rapid Hybridization was in one of the Ravnica sets because it's a Simic thing. But this set symbol is not from one of the Ravnica sets. In fact, if we look at the 3-letter/number combo at the bottom, it says C21, which to me means Commander 2021. But of course, you all can correct me in the comments if I am incorrect. So you will notice that is that like some of these cards are from different sets that, you know, it's not all Mystery Booster 2, but you will see what Mystery Booster 2 looks like later, the set symbol for that. But spoilers, it's a question mark. We have an Angel of Light, a Seal of Removal, Silver Gill Dowser, whoops, a River Bear. If it was, you know, towards the end of the pack and there were like older cards, I tried to pick those. These look really cool. A Burning Palm Ifrit, a Command of Unsummoning from Portal. Again, if it was an older card, I picked it. It's pretty funny. A Disrupt. Hoodwink. So this was another special thing in this set, was that they put some cards in the Future Sight frame or framing. And so this was an example of that. They put Hoodwink into Future Sight framing. Now, it was a bit of a meme, but also I wanted to take it. Oh, and here you go. You can see because it's in the Future Sight framing, it's not from an older set, because even though you could have put the Future Sight logo on there, it wasn't actually in that set. So here is the Mystery Booster set symbol. Like I said, it is just a question mark. But anyway, for the meme of it all, and because it was interesting to me, I took the Future Sighted Future Sight. So again, never printed in this framing before, and to me that's really cool. I got the card Future Sight in the Future Sight frame. Then we had playtest cards. For those of you unfamiliar with Mystery Booster 2, this may look very strange to you, but basically the idea is when Wizards makes cards, they make playtest cards kind of like this. So they will have like a piece of paper over a magic card of some sort, and they'll have ideas of like shorthand for what things are supposed to be. So for example, this is Zone of Flame, 4 red, red, red for an enchantment aura. Enchant Zone. Battlefield, Command Zone, Exile, and Stack are shared zones. Each player has their own graveyard, hand, and library zones. And it says whenever one or more cards enter or leave the enchanted zone, Zone of Flame deals 1 damage to each opponent, and then it reminds you tokens aren't cards. And then at the bottom, it says test card, not for constructed play. But the cool thing about Mystery Booster 2 was you were able to put these in your deck for draft or sealed or whatever you might have been playing. They're wacky cards. You know, the whole point is they're playtest cards, right? So they're testing the viability of them. So this is not something that you would see outside of like an unset. I remember Animate Library was a card that existed in I'm not going to get it right. But anyway, one of the unsets, the second most recent unset or third most recent unset. So that type of effect where you're kind of messing with a particular zone that typically doesn't get that type of treatment to it. So there was that. This was kind of interesting. Obviously, I didn't put it in the deck because we're not up to the deck yet, but there's that. And then another playtest card that I didn't use but that I got was Catch of the Day. Also, some of these arts, I mean, it lists this art. The previous art was done by Will Liu. So I believe these artists are like, usually the artists would be the people that like made up that card, or what that card does. At least that's how it was in Mystery Booster 1. The other thing is in Mystery Booster 1, the playtest cards became very, very valuable. We'll talk about value a little bit later in this set, but if I remember correctly, I don't think any of the playtest cards from this set, Mystery Booster 2, reached the level that Mystery Booster 1 did. But anyway, here's Catch of the Day. 5 and a blue for a creature serpent. It is a question mark in terms of power and toughness. As Catch of the Day enters the battlefield, choose 1 for each of the following. Keyword, either Vigilance, Ward 3, or Island Walk. You get to choose whenever this creature attacks. You have a couple of options. Either Scry 2, Goad target creature and opponent controls, or tap target creature and opponent controls. And then for its size, it can either be a 6/2, a 4/4, or a 2/6. And interestingly, right, it says Catch of the Day. The giant serpent is the one that is fishing. So it's got its little bobber in the water. It's holding the fishing rod with its tail. Anyway, I didn't end up playing this one either. We will see more playtest cards in the actual deck because here is the start of the actual deck. So as you can tell, hopefully, based on my picks, I was in blue-red. I'll show you which one was my pack 1 pick 1, and I'll show you my pack 3 pick 1. I genuinely do not remember my pack 2 pick 1 because it's been a little bit, but I remember pack 1 and pack 3. So here is Curse of Verbosity. I had Will Bender, Dreamtail Heron, a Torch Breath, got to get that removal in there, Spin into Myth, Weatherseed Fairies, flying is always important and limited. We talked about removal, Breath of Daragaz, whoops, a Cinder Cloud, an Aven Fisher, so kind of going along with Catch of the Day, I suppose. We have Aven Fisher. We have Oneirophage. I didn't get to use this to as good of effect as I would have hoped. Unfortunately, I didn't play, I mean, you know, it was one draft, right? So I didn't play a ton of games, and I did okay, I believe. I didn't walk away with like a million prize packs or anything, but I had a lot of fun, genuinely. And, you know, it's like, well, that's the most important thing. It actually is, in my opinion. I mean, again, it was my money to spend in that way, and I really enjoyed my experience, and so overall, it was definitely worth the money that I spent. 1, for the cards that I have here, but 2, for the experience itself. It was really cool. We have a Sprite Noble, a Deep Channel Mentor, Blood Mark Mentor, the guy's face, a Purifying Dragon. Then we get into a little mini theme that I noticed when cards were going around the table. It was a full pod of 8. In fact, there were 2 full pods of 8 at Champion that day, which is great. And then we only played interpod, right? We didn't switch between our pod and the other pod. But I noticed the theme as the cards were going around, and that's that there were slivers that people weren't taking. So, and I was already in blue and red. I didn't switch into that. So I picked up a Frenetic Sliver, a Telekinetic Sliver, and a Blade Sliver. I will say, because there were only 3 in the deck, it was not as impactful as I would have hoped. Plus, you know, these all didn't really work out, like, amazingly. In terms of like their abilities and stuff like that. So, you know, it was fine. It was a fine subset of cards, but it wasn't incredible or anything. Because those were my only slivers. I did have 2 Planeswalkers. Kasmina Enigmatic Mentor. Again, this one visually not much different than its original printing except for the Planeswalker logo on the bottom. But I also got the white border Narset Parter of Veils uncommon Planeswalker, and again, this one with the Mystery Booster set symbol because this Narset was not printed in white border, because why would you? But here it is. So I had 2 Planeswalkers. These 2 were very annoying for my opponents, I will say that. Behind Narset, I got the white border Ponder as well. This one probably not super valuable, but definitely up there compared to other things. But yeah, white border Ponder, Mystery Booster 2 logo, or set symbol, I should say. Behind Ponder, we move on to my 3 in the deck playtest cards. We had Pyromancy 101, so it says 1 + 1 = 2 in the flames on this with this Chandra here. But for 1 red mana, it's a sorcery lesson. Pyromancy 101 deals 1 damage to any target. Now this was a little confusing for me to figure out, but it then says teach 1 and a red. And it says then exile this spell. So what it means is you play this for 1 red mana as a sorcery, and it deals 1 damage to any target. Ignore the teach 1 and a red. Then we exile this spell taught to a creature we control. For as long as this card remains exiled, that creature has tap, copy the exiled card. You may cast the copy for its teach cost. So that's what the teach 1 and a red means. We could then put this, we'd play this for 1 red mana, ping something for 1, then put this on one of our creatures. At any time after that the creature would be able to tap, we can tap it, pay 2 mana, and copy this spell and cast it for its teach cost, which is, like I said, 1 and a red. So this was fine. I mean, sometimes you just need to deal 1 damage to something, but yeah, this was an interesting card to be sure. Behind it, we have Knight of the Flying Merfolk. This was a saga, 2 and a blue, and you can see the kind of the saga on the side there that they put this, you know, fake piece of paper on top of. But anyway, it's an enchantment saga bedtime story. Don't put a lore counter on this saga as it enters. Put a lore counter on it at the beginning of your end step rather than your main phase. Sacrifice after chapter 3. So like I said, it was 2 and a blue. Chapter 1, we create 2 1/1 blue merfolk creature tokens. Chapter 2, we put a flying counter on each tapped creature we control, because again, it was on our end step. And Chapter 3, draw a card for each creature you control that dealt combat damage to a player this turn. So we'd be able to basically turn all our things sideways on turn 2, give them all flying counters, and then on turn 3, turn them all sideways again, hopefully get in with a bunch of flyers, and then draw a bunch of cards. That was the idea. Do I think it ever popped off? No, but again, that's just kind of the theme with this deck for me. And my pack 1, pick 1 was Planeswalker. Now here's the thing. Let's have a conversation. This card name is not a real word. So I had, you know, some debates on this with myself, really. It's either Planeswalker Ificate, like you would pontificate. So it's either Planeswalkerificate or Planeswalkerificate, like a certificate. I don't know which one it is. I leaned towards Planeswalkerificate, like certificate. But you're more than welcome to let me know in the comments what you think. Maybe you want to write it as like Kit, K-I-T, Planeswalkerificate, or Planeswalkerificate, K-A-T-E, whichever you prefer. But, you know, if you have ideas or thoughts or whatever, I thought it was like it's a Planeswalker certificate, and maybe you'll see why. So it's 2 red for an enchantment aura, enchant creature we control. Enchanted creature is a Planeswalker in addition to its other types. Its toughness becomes its loyalty. And then it says you change its toughness to activate loyalty abilities. Damage lowers toughness. Toughness doesn't heal at the end of the turn. It can't block and gains the following abilities. +1, add red. -1, exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. And -X, this Planeswalker deals X damage to any target. I really liked this card. I thought it was really cool. Again, it essentially meant that we could have 3 Planeswalkers in our deck. So yeah, this was a fun card for sure. Like, do I think it's highly valuable or should be or anything? No, definitely not. But it was cool. It was fun. Now we get on to value. The way that Mystery Booster 2 works is there is typically 1 big value card per box. And again, we did have 2 pods. And so there would be 2 big value cards opened. Some of the players of the store know me and know my luck. Obviously, there's no way to know beforehand where the value lies, but many people were like, oh, well, Joe's clearly going to get the value. That's just how this usually works. And I mean, of course, I wasn't going to argue with them. That would be awesome. But what I did end up taking, actually, you know what? I think this was pack 2, pick 1. Maybe I do remember. It was Sensei's Divining Top in the Future Sight framework, and with the Mystery Booster 2 set symbol. Sensei's Divining Top is a great card. So yeah, there you go. There was pack 1, pick 1. Here's pack 2, pick 1, which was value. I was glad to have this. You are welcome to look up the price of it now, but I will say at the time it was valuable. Again, I don't have an exact number for you, unfortunately, but you can see what it costs now, or what it's worth now. But that's not the end, because I told you I knew what my pack 3, pick 1 was. In each box, there is 1 future-sighted card in foil. Just 1. And again, people at the store were right. I was lucky enough to have opened it myself. It is the Chain of Vapor. Again, at the time that I played, it was like over $100, this card. You can check for yourself what it costs now, and you're more than welcome to leave it in the comments for me. I have no issues with that whatsoever. But this was my Chain of Vapor. It is a little pringly now. That's just kind of how Magic cards work, right? Ain't nothing we can do about that. But yeah, between Sensei's Divining Top and this card, I definitely walked away with a fair bit of value for this set, so I was very pleased. I had a lot of fun. And like I said, did I do super well? No, but I mean, yes, I did, right? People said day of, and I don't blame them, that I won the draft before it started. Because in our pod, I was the one that got the value card, and then in the other pod, the person that got the value was somebody that worked for the store. So they were able to, I was the person that was able to grab the value for the players, you know what I mean? That's what I did it for. That's who I did it for. So I guess I'll leave you looking at these two. I really hope you enjoyed this type of video. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I don't know like how many opportunities I'll have to make videos like this in the future. It's not, something I'm going to go out of my way for, but this was something very unique where I was able to go and participate in this event. So yeah, if I do stuff like this in the future, I'd love to make videos like these. If you're like, Joe, look, it just doesn't work, you're more than welcome to let me know that in the comments below. If you liked it, like I said, that's also helpful to know. But you'll notice, right, with Chain of Vapor, that's the only foil that there was, because there really was only like 1 foil per box. It was like, we're spoiled with play boosters, but with Mystery Booster 2, there were not many foils because I feel like these were the only foils. So But if you got to play some Mystery Booster 2, did you get some value? Let me know in the comments below. I'd really love to hear from you. Like I said, more Ether Drift openings coming out soon from us. So if that is something that you're interested in, or any of the other things that we do, we stream every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We have 2 other channels, Video Games for All and Gluten Free for All. Links down in the description box below. Links to our socials, especially Gluten Free for All's Instagram. All that great stuff, as well as subscribing and ringing that bell will get you notifications whenever any of those videos come out. You don't have to memorize when they come out or keep checking back here. The notifications will let you know when that comes out. And last but not least, if you're enjoying this, if you're enjoying the things that we're doing here on this channel or other channels, likes and shares here on YouTube go a very long way. Thank you so much for the support. We really, really appreciate it. But for now, from us here at the Geek for All family of channels, I've been Joe. And as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.